In this video, we're going to rank some of the toughest sales objections today. From S to D tier. S tier objections will be the toughest ones to solve, and D tier will be the easiest. I'm Chris Rigoris. I've produced more than $20 million in high-ticket sales online, and I've closed every single objection there is. So let's dig in. So let's start with this is too expensive objection. The too expensive objection is an A tier objection. It's a tricky one because there are 5 different reasons someone might say it's too expensive. So number 1 is they don't have the money, the actual logistics. Number 2 is they fear of spending the money. So they have the money, but they're concerned to spend it. Number 3 is a product-based objection, meaning they don't see the value of what you're offering them. Number 4 is a comparison objection. They have seen cheaper options and they don't see how you're different, better, or you're making their life easier than the other options. And number 5 is they have a self-belief problem. So they don't believe in investing in themselves, they don't feel that they deserve it, so they tell you it's too expensive. And for that, it's an A tier objection. Next is let me think about it. Let me think about it is a B tier objection. It's a smoke screen. A lot of people get caught up in smoke and mirrors. They believe it and they get stuck trying to overcome a let me think about it, where the whole goal is to pierce the smoke screen and find the real objection behind that. Let's look at the I need to do more research objection. This is a pain in the ass. It's an A tier objection. Because the only reason they say that is because you haven't created enough trust during the call. So it's going to be an uphill battle to get them across the board from that point. There are ways to do it, and what you have to do is take them back to the pain, re-establish discovery, ask the right questions once more, and then validate that you have the solution for them, but you essentially have to redo the sales call again. Let's look at the objection. Let me start with something cheaper first. We'll put this under C. It's an easy objection to handle. A lot of people panic when they hear that. They feel that the prospect doesn't have the money. In reality, it's just a simple fear objection. It's a taster. They want a cheaper way, a more affordable way to get started. All you have to do is show them that, hey, the premium option is the way to go here because it will get you the best results possible. Let's look at what's the refund policy on this. This is B tier. This isn't a real objection, it's a question, but it will turn into refunds and a lot of heartache if you don't handle it properly. The way to do it is simple. You don't just answer the question, you need to find the concern behind the question. So you ask them, is there a specific reason why you're asking for the refund policy? Just to make sure I can help. And once you find the core reason why, you need to understand that is it because they have been burned before? Is it because they don't really believe in your product? Why are they asking that? Find clarity first and then answer. Let's say they tell you, I've tried something similar before and it didn't work. This is a D level objection. It's super easy to handle once you know exactly what to say. And what you say is something like this. Oh, if you've tried something similar before, why didn't it work? And you want to find the root cause of why it didn't work. Is it because they didn't do the work? Or is it because they got scammed? Is it because there was something missing in what they did before? Once you understand the exact reason why, all you need to do is include it into your packaging and make it a reason that they should join. What if they tell you, I can't afford this right now? This is a D-level objection. It's super easy to handle. It's a typical money objection. All you need to do to overcome it is collaborate with them on finding the money. It can be through payment plans, terms, financing, but you sit down, instead of just throwing discounts at them, you have an educated discussion around what the best next steps are, and you try to help them out at this point. Let's say they tell you, I need to talk to my spouse. Now, let me be real with you. If you're talking to a guy, it's a level D objection. We're gonna rate it a D because it's super easy to handle. If there's a guy that doesn't rely on his wife for his income, he doesn't need her permission to do this. All you need to do is to get him to take responsibility for the decision, because at the end of the day, he is probably throwing this in your face as a smokescreen objection. Now, what I will say is, if you're talking to a woman that relies on her husband, there's probably going to be needing a conversation for this. So we'll put this under C in that case, because what will happen is you will try to help him overcome her own objection, but at the end of the day, she will need to consult her husband. And the best scenario there is you book a call with both of them. Because at this stage, you want to help overcome her husband's concerns too. Next, let me talk to my partner objection. So this is a more B2B scenario instead of the spouse one. We're gonna move this up a tier and we're gonna put this at B. And the reason why is when you're dealing with multiple stakeholders in a company, there is going to be a purchasing discussion in place in order for them to move forward. And that's what makes it tough, because you can do all the reframes, all the analogies you want in one partner, but if the other one isn't present, you're gonna hit a wall. So the best scenario there is to ask them ahead, what's your typical decision-making process when it comes to things like this? Do you need to go to a board? Do you need to have a discussion with your partner? What's your role in the business? Are you the CEO? Are you the COO? Because if you're just talking to the COO and there is a CEO or a CFO involved, they're not going to move forward then and there. The COO is going to need permission from the CEO and the CFO. So be mindful when it comes to these things. Let me slip on it. This is a level C. It's a variation of the let me think about it objection. It's a smoke screen. And typically, it happens when you create the resistance. Like when you say something that trigger resistance, a lot of people will say, yeah, I mean, that sounds fine, let me slip on it. And they want to go away from the call. So what needs to happen there is you want to pierce to the smoke screen, like put them at ease, make them relax and get them to open up. And you'll say something like, yeah, that's not an issue, and take the time you need to sleep on it. Now that I'm here, is there anything in particular that's coming up that you actually wanted to sleep on? Just in case I can help. I've heard a lot of people do the bullshit, well, it's not a pillow, so you can't really sleep on it. Don't do that, it will create more resistance. It's not humor, you're using their objection as a tool to get ahead of them. Let's say they tell you, I'm not sure if this is the right fit for me. And that's an A tier, almost S tier objection, because it's a product-based objection. You fucked up somewhere along the way. They wanted something and you're giving them something else. The problem with this one is you haven't connected their challenges with the solutions that you're offering. So if they see a disconnect between the two and they won't move forward. The only way to fix that is to redo discovery, just like the product-based objection that we chatted about earlier on. What about, I'll just ask AI for these things. This is an A tier objection and it will come up a lot going forward. And the reason is, people don't understand that AI doesn't have the credibility and the skin in the game required to give advice. So they will follow it blindly. Until they realize that, they will give you a lot of these objections. So how you handle it and you get ahead of it is you ask them that. Can I ask? You can 100% use ChatGPT or any other LLM or AI tool. However, if it gives you the wrong advice, whose responsibility is it? Is it the AI's responsibility that you failed, or is it your responsibility that you took advice for something that has inherent risk of false information? May I make a suggestion? Would it help you if instead of betting and gambling on any AI giving you advice, do you feel it would help if you had someone holding you accountable, giving you the help you need instead? So that's how you position it, and that's the only way really to get ahead of the AI objection. What if they tell you, I want to try this myself first? This is a B tier objection. This is ideally something that you want to pre-handle when someone books with you. So you can ask them early on, so can I ask, what has you reaching out for help now, rather than just maybe trying to fix this on your own? You need to nip this in the bud early, because if you make the offer, they get the sales resistance from the price, and then they tell you, oh, I want to try this by myself. It's very hard, or it will be harder to come back from that. And last but not least, the objection of, how are you different than your competitor? We'll rank this as C. It can be a tough objection with some people because they can't get into the trap of talking shit about the competition, which is not the way to handle this one. The way to handle this one is to ignore the competition altogether and ask them, well, competition aside, do you feel we are the solution for you? Because I don't know about the competition or what they do. What's important for me is helping our clients win. And so do you feel we can help you win? Making that the focus. And then if the customer brings up, oh, but they are cheaper, you do this shift. You tell them, well, maybe they're cheaper. For you, is it more important to go with the cheapest available option in the market, or Is it more important for you to get results? At the end of the day, if you're in sales and you want to make 100, 150,000 a month, you need to be a master of objection handling. And all of these, when you listen to them, they should be D-tier objections. Yes, some will be tougher, some will be easier, but for me to get to a point where I was making 140,000 a month in commissions, all these objections had to become a breeze. Now, if you want to hear my speech on exactly how to sell in a low trust world today, watch this video right here, and I'll see you there.